Let's stay with this story. Joining us live via Zoom to have a conversation on this matter is the West African Regional Director for CATS International, Appiah Kusi, Adomako. Thank you, sir, for joining us on the ChannelOne newsroom. First of all, what do you make of this latest statement from MultiChoice? They say they're unable to reduce prices as demanded by the minister.
Good evening and good evening to your viewers. I think MultiChoice has not demonstrated any good faith with regards to this matter. I mean, the minister is not talking out of nothing. If nothing at all, we've seen that the Ghanaian city has appreciated since March or so. And it is fair and reasonable that MultiChoice also passes on the city appreciation gain to consumers. If you will recall, somewhere in March, MultiChoice increased its services tariffs by 15 to 18% across board. And I mean, it would have been reasonable if MultiChoice could have even reverted to the increased prices as a way of showing that they have Ghanaians customers at heart. And MultiChoice can choose not to reduce its prices because it does not face competition from any other provider. You know, Ghanaians are stuck to MultiChoice because MultiChoice has a premium content for esports programs.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the license for broadcast for the EPL and the Champions League, for example, is done at exclusive license to MultiChoice. So in Africa, no company has access to those premium content. And this is what has resulted in MultiChoice becoming dominant in the TV market. And I think that if the minister wants to bring this issue to finality, we find ourselves in a free market economy. And so we cannot necessarily dictate prices to businesses. If MultiChoice is not trying to comply through the moral restrictions by the minister, I think that the minister can use more of a market approach. When you go to the US, for example, all sporting programs, sports program, whether the baseball, the football, the hockey, or whatever, they don't license. No station has the sole right monopoly on those content.
Okay.
But in Africa, we have allowed this thing to persist. And it will be very helpful if trade ministers in Africa, if ministers of communications in Africa can come together and also challenge the sole licensing that the Europeans give to MultiChoice that has allowed the MultiChoice to become dominant in the market.
So that should be the goal, right? Create the
that
market.
Should be,
I was asking if that should be the goal, to create a competitive market instead of asking a company that has monopoly to reduce their prices.
Yes. Now, MultiChoice doesn't face any competition in this market. It become more like Warabeba. Whether you like it or not, you come to buy their product. But if MultiChoice were to be facing competition in the pay TV market, I'm sure that the minister would not even have to go there to tell them to reduce their prices. So if they are failing to comply, I think that we should also see how can we break the monopoly. And that is a medium to long term. In the short term, this thing cannot be achieved. In the short term, we will not be able to break MultiChoice monopoly in the market. But the minister's action in terms of suspending their license by 7th is also not a sense of bad signal to investors. If you recall, on Friday, when the minister was having the press briefing, the minister also talked about inviting companies into the business outsourcing centers in Ghana. And on one breath, you are inviting people to come and invest in Ghana. And then on other breath, you are telling others that if you don't reduce your prices, we are going to shut your license, this sounds, I mean, more of a, it doesn't sound well for businesses that want to invest in Ghana. So we need to find a more market approach in resolving this matter. And the market approach is through competition, working with other African. Nigeria is the biggest market for multi-choice in Africa. If Ghana can work with Nigeria, Egypt, Cameroon, and Kenya, I think that collectively we'll be able to address the dominance that multi-choice has in this pay TV market.
Okay. Um, well, until we have a competition for MultiChoice, looks like we're stuck with them. But they did say in their statement that they cannot reduce prices in the manner that's been demanded by the minister. So it means that there are other ways they can reduce prices. Should the minister be looking forward to, say, call them back to the table and look at other ways where they can find common grounds and get what the minister is looking for?
Yes, I would say that as I said earlier on, the multi-choice has not demonstrated good faith to Ghanaians. And let me tell you one thing. When you are a subscriber to multi-choice service and you have a network problems and it cannot be resolved remotely, and you call multi-choice, they will give you a number of a third-party agent to come and fix it for you. Once the person comes, you pay the person. And that is very wrong because you are in law, we have what you call benefit and burden principle. He who enjoys the benefit must also enjoy the burden. I pay a monthly subscription fee to you as a multi-choice. And so if my network has a problem and it cannot be resolved remotely, whoever comes should be the one, you should be paying that person, not me, the subscriber. And all of these things are happening largely because of the monopoly and the dominance that is in this market. And I think that also in the short and medium term, we also need to get our consumer protection laws and competition laws in place so that some of these things can be curtailed because they don't feel any constraint. They don't feel any constraint to do what they do in other markets because we don't have the relevant laws here. And I think that the Minister of Communications and the Trade Minister can work together to sponsor the competition and the consumer protection law, which has been on the drawing board for the past 18 years.
Okay. All right, sir. I'm grateful to you, Mr. Appiah Kusi Adomako. He is the West African Regional Director of CATS International. Well, that story keeps on, let's see what happens within the week, whether MultiChoice will budge and reduce prices. The minister has given August 7 that if MultiChoice does not reduce prices as he's demanded, he's going to revoke their license. Let's see what happens as the story unfolds.